The Washington Post, People.com, Axios. Yes, recent scientific findings are raising alarm. A major earthquake along the Cascadia subduction zone, CSZ, could indeed cause coastal land to sink dramatically, potentially altering the fate of cities along the Pacific Northwest coast. What's the study saying? 1. Sudden land subsidence of up to 2 meters, 6.6 feet. Researchers, led by Tina Dura at Virginia Tech, found that a magnitude 8.0 or higher quake in the CSZ could cause coastal regions in Washington, Oregon, and Northern California to suddenly drop by 0.5 to 2 meters. All within minutes. USGS, PMC, The Washington Post, San Francisco Chronicle. 2. Massive floodplain expansion. Today, such subsidence could double, or more, the areas at flood risk, expanding the so-called 1% floodplain by 90 to 300 square kilometers, approximately 115 square miles, depending on the severity. USGS, The Washington Post, San Francisco Chronicle, SF-Gate. By 2100, when combined with sea level rise, the floodplain could triple in size, affecting even more land and infrastructure. PMC, The Washington Post, People.com, SF-Gate. 3. Broad impact on people and infrastructure. Thousands more residents, tens of thousands of buildings, and hundreds of miles of roads could fall under new flood risk. People.com, SF-Gate, The Daily World, Particle News. Airports, wastewater systems, highways, and communities would face long-term flooding threats, not just temporary tsunami danger. The Washington Post, San Francisco Chronicle, Axios. 4. Accelerated timeline for risk. One striking projection. In some places, sea level rise equivalent to what was expected by 2300 could occur within minutes post-quake, turning long-term projections into immediate crises. San Francisco Chronicle, OPB. 5. Real chances of occurrence soon. There's an estimated 15% chance of a magnitude 8 quake in the CSZ within the next 50 years, rising to 29-37% by 2100, not far off from being imminent. People.com, SF-Gate, Axios, UPI. So, could cities sink? Yes, in this context, sink refers to ground subsidence, not the entire city collapsing. Coastal lands could suddenly lower by several feet, raising relative sea levels instantly and permanently, making previously dry zones prone to chronic flooding. The magnitude and speed of that subsidence are what make this threat especially alarming, not just the quake or tsunami itself. Implications and what's being urged? Urban and infrastructure planning must evolve. Communities are encouraged to incorporate quake-driven subsidence into flood hazard maps, building codes, and emergency planning. USGS, People.com, Axios. Resilience planning is critical. Authorities are urged to rethink the placement of airports, roads, treatment plants, and evacuation routes, and to bolster public awareness of both tsunami and sinking land risks. The Washington Post, Axios. Public awareness remains low. Despite visible tsunami signs, many residents remain unaware of both the quake and sinking risks. Outreach and preparedness efforts still fall short. The Washington Post, San Francisco Chronicle. Summary. Table, phenomenon. What could happen? Ground subsidence, sudden drop of approximately 0.52 meters, approximately 166.6 feet in minutes. Floodplain expansion, doubling, tripling of flood-prone areas, tens to hundreds of km2. Infrastructure risk, airports, roads, and communities increasingly vulnerable to permanent flooding. Timeline. Could happen today, risk increases with sea level rise through 2100, earthquake probability, tilde 15% in next 50 years, approximately 37% by 2100. In short, while sink cities might sound dramatic, the reality is serious and scientifically supported. A future cascade quake could physically lower land in coastal areas, triggering cascading flood risks that demand urgent adaptation and planning. Let me know if you'd like a breakdown of how specific cities like Seattle, Portland, or others might be affected, or what households and governments can do to prepare.